What's up friends, I hope you are all doing good. Liron here, and today I have a painting demo to share with you. It's gonna be time-lapse with me talking after the fact. I really liked how the painting turned out. There are a few things that I could improve that will make it a lot better, but I'm really pleased with the way things are going. So I hope you enjoyed this one. Let's get to it. Okay, so as you can see the reference here on the bottom right corner, this is the Holy Trinity Church somewhere in the UK. I will share the link to the original image and the page just as a credits thing at the description box. Right now what I'm doing is placing the first wash of the sky. Really already I can see that a lot of things I could do differently, which is funny. This painting was actually done a long time ago. I'm just now turning this process into a video to actually upload to the channel, and it's interesting to see how I'm learning new stuff and already things are changing and I would do differently. By the way, I didn't show the drawing process, just started directly with the painting, which is a good point to note. I actually finished my drawing course for beginners. This is a course that is meant just for beginners, that talks about drawing no matter what medium you use, pen, pencil, whatever it is you like using. It's a general drawing course for beginners. I'll add a link to the description box. It will actually be the first link you'll see there, without even expanding the description box, hopefully. So you can check it out there. I know a lot of people have asked about it and wanted to get an update about the course. It's done, it's ready, so hopefully you'll check it out. It's for $24 right now. It's a launch price, and I believe it'll stay for a while, but I'll probably change it in the future. So if you're interested, check that out. Now what I'm doing is finally adding that first wash to the actual front side of the church and the roof. And in this stage, my only aim is to just get some variety in the wash to make it interesting. So you can see that the roof is dominated by a reddish brown tone. This is specifically burnt sienna, and the front wall has a bit of a change to it. It's a little bit more sepia. The video is at twice the normal, the original speed, so it's not too fast, and hopefully you can still get the process well. So for the first wash, as I said, I just try to get as even wash as possible while varying the color in some places to create some interest. And you can see that I already connect this wash to the grass at the bottom, to the ground. And the reason I do that is that the wall on the left actually will stay pretty bright, because the light in this example comes from the I even forgot where it comes from. I believe it comes from the left. Yes, it comes from the left, and so the left wall is going to stay probably white or maybe a little darker. And so I could just move on to the grassy area at the bottom. It's interesting because what I did here at the bottom, I'm using a darker green. I just added a bit more phthalo blue to the sap green, or whatever mixture I used, and it's something that I changed in recent works. I'll put an example actually now. I want to show you. I'll put it on the left side probably, and you will see. What I learned is that the more things get closer to you, the more you want to make the values warmer. Not the values, the color warmer. And what I tended to do up until this point is to just make things darker or colder, cooler, the more close they are to us. And it's just not a good way to approach this in many cases. So what I would do, if I would recreate this, is make the grass at the very bottom a little more yellow, maybe a little more reddish, just to make it warmer and get it to be a little closer to us. So now you see the mixture I use here is a little different than the one I used for the frontmost wall of the church, and it has a little more ultramarine or French ultramarine blue. and mixed with some sepia to make the darker ones, and also that castle in the background, same thing. Now there's this weird fountain thing, or I'm not sure what it is, this statue. And later on, when I'll add the shadow, you will really see this. Now it's hard to tell, but the two white spots in the background is actually two figures. I'll later add on the details of them as well. Hopefully you can enjoy the painting process even though I'm speaking. Let me know what you think of that. If you would prefer just the me talking about exactly what I'm doing in real time, I'm always happy to get more feedback. I'm now in Paris, actually, while I'm editing and making this video, and it's really interesting because I'm going through a lot of new insights about what I want to do, where I want to take this channel, where I want to take my business in general, and it's really exciting stuff. By the way, what I'm doing now, as you saw, is just get the darker areas of the walls. As I told you, the light comes from the left, and so what you have is a very contrasty white that contrasts with the rest of the walls of the church. And the shadows really help bring out the shape. You can immediately tell the shapes. And now really darkening with the second layer, the front wall of the church. And this is the stage where I'll do a lot of wets and wets, because the second layer allows you to really bring in many, if not most, of the details. And it's actually the part I like most about this painting, the window on the frontmost wall. So anyway, I'm now in Paris, and I'm really thinking about where I want to take this this whole art thing in my life in general. And I got a few really good insights, and I really want to share them here, probably in a separate video as well, but just to let you in on it. What I see as my main goal is to inspire people to create with courage, with no limitations, with complete freedom, because this is something I'm actually struggling with at times, and I feel like this is my great battle that will help me help other people. So I feel many times like my creativity is limited, and it's all in your head, really. It's just mental blocks and things like that. A lot of voices in your head that meddle with the work, and I'm actually curious to hear what you think of this, and if you experience it too. All these voices that are telling you that what you're doing isn't really that good, or it's not what you should be doing, or this is not what people will like, or who am I to do such a thing? All sorts of limiting thoughts and beliefs that I really want to be able to help people get rid of. And I already have a very general plan on how to make this. So I assure you there are tons of really cool stuff to come. Really, really amazing, I think. And if I can get this to work, or rather when I will get this to work, I believe I can provide massive value in just channel that's way beyond just showing how to paint, how to draw, how to sketch. Because these are things that are much more important. I'm here really finding my artistic voice. I'm trying a lot of new things. Actually, let me share with you now, also on the left, a painting sketch that I did. I do a lot of these sketches now in Paris, and I really try to find my voice in whichever medium I'm using. And so I feel like I'm near a breakthrough in the direction in which I want to take art and the business of art in my life. Now I'm doing the let's go back to the painting here. So now I'm doing the wall at the more at the back, and you can already, by the way, notice the wall on the front here and the window. I think it really captures the shape of the window really well. It's really, as I said, one of my favorite parts. And now at the back wall, I'm leaving some space for the figures. Yeah. So this process I'm going through right now really helps me to focus on what I want to achieve, like my great mission in life, basically. And it's really interesting to see this unfold and to discover what's really there for me. Actually, sort of trying to gain different perspectives on teaching and art and things like this, and I feel like I have a lot of unique characteristics that can help other people in ways that other art teachers can't. I was checking out a video of someone that I really appreciate, and it's a small YouTube channel about watercolors. And I won't say the name just because I don't want to, but the channel is fantastic. Love the paintings, love the work of this guy. The thing is, I left a comment saying, like really complimenting them because I really like their style, and I told them that I really like their approach and the way they work. And they replied back with to my comment like, "Thanks, Liron." Dot, like, "Thanks, Liron." Point, end sentence, just like that. And I'm like, wow, one of my strong points is actually the communication. I mean, I would never answer such a comment with "thanks," like, and period. It just looks weird to me. And I mean, you can probably, if you've been following my channel, you could probably sense this, that I think my greatest strength is just my ability to communicate, and I think this is what makes me a good teacher. I don't know if better than others necessarily, but a good teacher. Which is funny because I feel like my artistic skills are the ones that actually could use improvement many times. But yeah, it's really it's funny to me. This by seeing the contrast of how I interact with others, it really helps me to gain perspective into now, and by the way, I'm regretting this, it's too dark, I'm redoing it, and you'll see it's like the biggest mistake I make in this painting, but never mind, I'll cover that later on. Anyway, so it really, this contrast between what I'm doing and what other people are doing is really what gives me the insight as to what I should be doing, because communication is, I think, my strongest trait. So I would like to leverage that and to be able to provide more value here. And when I said that I want to talk a bit more about the business aspect and the productivity and stuff like that, this is what I'm talking about. It's not even necessarily business and, man, I'm talking a lot. It's not necessarily business or productivity or success that I want to talk about. I want to inspire you who's watching this to really understand that there are no limitations whatsoever. You have the blank page, and as artists, we create something out of nothing. And I think it's like the only instance in the universe where such a thing happens. Creation, like the human race is just creating stuff. And it's amazing, and it's really out of nothing. There was an empty canvas here, and now there's a painting. And you can judge the painting, you can say it could have been better in many ways, but that's irrelevant. We're creators. We're making something out of nothing, and I think that's really commendable. So yeah, that's it. That's my half rant, half inspirational speech. I really feel like it's interesting because when I just record myself speaking, I feel like I am much better at expressing myself than in front of the camera. So this is something I kind of want to work on because it feels more like I'm talking on the phone with a friend or something like this. So it's easier for me to let my real voice take control. So I think I'm gonna title this video "My Inspirational Speech" or something funny like that. Here I'm adding the little details on the figures here in the background, and I'll add some blue and some red to their shirts. And what I really there's a small mistake I did here. I just didn't, I forgot to add the shadow. I did add it later on, and I think in the final scan you will be able to see it. But in this video I forgot to show their shadow, and the shadow is really an important component in any painting, I think, because especially if it's strong lighting conditions like now. It's like the middle of the day, or maybe towards noon, early afternoon, and the shadows are really contrasty with the ground that's really well lit, and really the anchor, now I'm adding the legs, the anchor of the characters, the figures, and the ground is their shadow. And you can see that it just begs to be shadowed. But I kind of forgot to do it while recording. So hopefully you'll forgive me for that. And now I'm just signing it, and I'll take off the tape. And you can see on the right, I think I should have made this tree a little darker or brighter. Just do something else with it. Send it to the background by making it lighter. Because it's not clear enough what happens there with the church wall. Anyway, taking off the tape, which marks the end of this video. I really hope you enjoyed my little speech here. And let's wrap this up. So yeah, this is it. I hope you liked this one. I feel like the one thing, can you see? The one thing I would definitely change is I'd make this part dark as this part. I'd just flip the darkness of these two, if that makes any sense. Anyway, I would just make this one lighter and this one darker, because it feels like it's a little hard to tell which one is at the front between this part of the building and the tree. What I really like about this one is the wet and wet that I did here that turned out, I think, magnificent. So hopefully you enjoyed the demo, and don't forget to follow me on Snapchat and Instagram, where I actually share the process of making these paintings, and also a lot of other ones that I don't post as videos. So for these ones you have the process, but there are many others that I do because I paint every day almost, so you can see them there and not here. So check that out, and thank you so much for tuning in. I hope to see you again really soon. Until then, take care.